Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents When She's Fearless by Ruby Dixon. Narrated by Jillian Macie and Mason Lloyd. 1. Chelsea. There's a cat man in my stream. It's strange to see. I mean, this is an alien planet, and I should be used to seeing things that are slightly out of the norm. The grasses here have a different texture than the grass back on Earth. The sky is a little bluer than back home. The vegetables a little strange to the palate. And the cattle look a bit more sheep-like than, well, cattle-y. Those I'm all used to. But this stream never sees anyone but me. So to find a stranger in my stream this early in the morning is strange. The fact that it's an alien man is a double whammy. Hrrrusek 3 is really quiet when it comes to those sorts of things. My memories are full of unpleasant visits to crowded stations that are dirty and smell like musty, recycled air. Of people everywhere, and all of them loud and dismissive of humans. None of those memories are good ones, except the one where the nice pirate lady bought me and brought me here to Lord Varin's pastoral planet and set me free. That was 2 years ago, and I don't think I've seen a man outside of port since then. I certainly haven't seen a cat man. I crouch in the bushes by the stream and watch him. I don't think he's aware of me just yet. Hrrrusek 3 is, for the most part, rolling hills and sunny plains, at least this part of the world. My farm is tucked between two particular rolling hills, which means I get a lot of pooling water in my fields when it rains, but I don't mind. Having soupy fields beats being captive on a space station, after all. There's not a lot of trees in our particular neck of the woods, so to speak, but there's deep streams that cut through the landscape that are perfect for fishing. I've staked out this particular stream as my favorite, because there's a section in the middle that's deeper than the rest, and that's where the big fish hang out in the heat of the day. It's my stream. It's on my property, after all. Bushes line the banks of my stream, providing natural cover, and I continue to crouch in them, watching as the big male stands perfectly still in the water, staring down at the surface. He has an expression of frustration on his face, and he stands so unmoving that I wonder if there's a purpose behind his stillness. Isn't there a type of fishing where you stand still and grab the fish as they come up to you? I rack my brain, trying to remember the word for it. Noodling, that's what it is. Is he noodling? If so, I'm not sure he's going about it the right way. He seems far too tense. I watch him as I crouch low in the bushes. It's my first time being this close to Apraxian, the cat-like race. And I have to say, they don't look as weird as I recall. This one has faint orange stripes in his fur, a bit like a tabby cat, and it takes a lot of the intimidation out of his appearance. His chest is enormous and thickly built. I don't see defined muscle, but I get the impression that he's very strong. He's a little soft around the middle, but who isn't? It doesn't take away from the fact that he's probably at least 1.5 feet taller than me, and probably weighs twice as much. And I'm a big girl. The stranger doesn't have a completely cat-like face, either. His mouth is split under the nose like a cat's, but his nose and muzzle aren't nearly as pronounced as they would be if he had an entirely cat face. Intelligent, bright amber eyes peer out from his buff and orange-colored face. And he has whiskers. A fucking grown-ass man has whiskers. That makes me clap a hand over my mouth to keep from chortling, because it's both ridiculous and adorable. He lifts his head as if sensing my nearness, and I wonder if the wind changed and brought my scent to him. Either that, or I snicker-snorted louder than I should have. I could swear his tail moves under the water, and that seems to anger him. He growls, swatting at the surface with a look of pure frustration, like a cat that just watched his meal disappear. Oh my God, this really is cute. I have to know what the heck he's doing. Excuse me, sir, are you noodling? The male stiffens and his shoulders flex, and I see thick muscle moving. He's got huge arms. Huge everything, really. He turns toward me, and those whiskers twitch as his nose moves. Who's there? I get to my feet, using my fishing rod as a walking stick, and cock a hip as I grin. Me? You're in my stream. Not that I mind. I'm just wondering if you're noodling, that's all. The alien male sizes me up, gaze moving over my body before fixing on my face. I do not know what noodling is. Trying to catch fish with your hands. I move along the bank, keeping clear of the muddy edges. If you are, I'll go downstream so I don't interrupt. To my surprise, he looks down at the water with a hint of unease. There are fish in here? Live fish? Well, the dead ones tend to float to the top, I drawl, teasing. They're not great swimmers. He snorts with amusement, and one big clawed hand scratches at a thick pectoral. He's not wearing a shirt or a tunic, I'm realizing. It must be on the bank somewhere. I am not trying to catch a fish, alive or dead. I'm looking for my ident badge. Your ident badge? My eyebrows go up. What's it doing here? His whiskers twitch, which I find hilariously adorable, and he looks grouchy as hell. It is a long story. I bet it is. And I wait. He scratches at his chest again, looking annoyed. My brother drank too much at the cantina last night and stole our sled rental. He only vaguely remembers driving away, finding a stream, and dropping my card into it. One wet hand gestures at the stream. The tracking logs on the sled show that it must be this stream, but I can't find the card. And you were being still so the water would clear? I wonder. And when he nods, I beam. I figured it was either that or noodling. I should be doing neither, he growls, swatting at the surface of the water as if it offends him. Well now, he's going to scare away the fish if this continues. That is, if there are any left in the vicinity. So much for my fishing this morning. Not that I need the food. Fish is tasty, but I have plenty of supplies. I just like fishing. Reminds me of home. A big, grumpy stranger splashing around is twice as amusing as fishing, though. You're never going to find it at this rate, I agree. I have a net back at my homestead. You want me to grab it and maybe that will help you find your card? He pauses, eyeing me skeptically. And I notice one of his big triangular kitty cat ears has a small gold hoop in it. How freaking cute. That would be helpful, yes. I wink at him. Be right back. Don't go anywhere, Grumpy. I cannot go anywhere if I don't get my ident card back, he calls after me. I'll be stranded here.
2. Hrrrusek. I'd bet 10 credits that the female isn't coming back. If she was smart, she'd race back home and call the port authorities on me. I know I'm not supposed to be on private land. That was one thing that was made very clear to the contractors that set foot in tiny port on equally tiny Rizda 3. It's a human reserve and we're to leave them alone at all costs, or the contract could be revoked. And if my keffing brother hadn't gotten wasted on Uli brew and gone joyriding with an air sled rental, I wouldn't have left port. But he did, and tossed everything in the cab out into the water in a drunken spree, and now I'm standing waist-deep in water that smells like a fish tank and hoping that a curvy human female takes leave of her senses and returns. Most of the humans are terrified of us. I don't blame them. I've seen some of the terrible shit that goes down in the slave rings. I've never had a slave of my own, because the thought is distasteful, but I know lots of Praxians that keep them. Never gave it much thought until now. Now I'm picturing the smiling female with the ample cleavage in a slave collar and wearing a chain, dragged around behind some unfeeling master, and I'm glad she's here and not elsewhere in the universe. Even if she doesn't come back. I run my claws through the murky water again and peer down into it. She mentioned there were fish in this stream, and the thought of it is vaguely alarming. Do fish bite, I wonder? My tail goes still and presses against my leg. "I'm back," a voice calls cheerfully. Sure enough, the female returned. She must have more guts than sense, but I'm glad for it. I'm trapped here if I lose my ident card. Not that this is the worst place to be trapped, but they're protective of the humans here and won't look kindly on me if I cause problems. I don't blame them for being protective of the humans. If they're anything like the sweet creature that climbs down the bank, her teats bouncing as she slides into the water, they'd be wise to be protective. Most of the locals are tiny things, built like twigs and look as if they'd snap under a Praxian's paws. Not this one. She's an average height, I think, but her curves are bountiful, her thighs thick, and her ass as abundant as her magnificent teats. She moves to my side, holding out the net as if I should somehow know what to do with it. I take the thing from her and study it, but I'm a dock contractor, not a fisherman. I know how to read a schematic and how to operate welding bots. A fishing net is out of my domain. Do I just drop it in the water? Only if you want to lose it, she says with a laugh. That delightful laugh makes her teats jiggle, which is also rather delightful, and I want to stare desperately, but I know I don't have permission. Here, I'll show you how it works. She takes the net back from me and then toggles a switch. Immediately, the edges stiffen and form an oval as wide as I am tall, and she holds it out. We drag this through the mud on the bottom, and it'll act like a sieve. If your card is down there, that should help us find it. You're sure it's in this shallow part? Do I look sure? She chuckles again, and I love the sound of it. I'm thinking about things other than my keffing ident badge now. I'm thinking about those magnificent jiggling teats, and if she makes those breathy chuckles when she's got a cock inside her. Keff me, I need to calm down. The last thing I need to do is scare one of the locals with a raging hard-on. The water's only waist-high here, so if it's in this area, it shouldn't be too hard to find, she says, and leans over to drag the net. When she bends over, the neck of her tunic dips and shows me a delightful expanse of creamy cleavage, and I'm utterly distracted. Keff me. I hope this female doesn't have a mate, because I want to claim her as mine. I'm Hrrrusek, by the way. I'm Chelsea, she replies, and tilts her head, her long mane spilling into the water. And I think I just stepped on your badge. She reaches under the surface, and a moment later pulls it out. Aha! I'm both relieved and utterly disappointed. Now I can leave the planet when my job is done, but there's no point in me staying out here in the stream. And things just got so very interesting, too. Chelsea straightens, her tunic dripping water and clinging to her magnificent chest. Bit chilly for a swim, but I've had worse. She beams at me, proud that she's found my ident card. Told you we could find it. You are very clever. I take it from her wet hands and wish I could touch her strange, small fingers for longer without seeming like I'm attacking her. A female alone out here would take it the wrong way, and I wouldn't blame her. You have my thanks, Chelsea. Think nothing of it. I was coming out here to fish anyhow. And now you have your net. Her smile grows broader. Oh, using the net is no fun. I'm going to use a pole and try to catch one of the big daddies at the deep end of the stream. She gestures behind us, where the stream widens and grows darker. I could eat for several days on one of them. Big daddies? I'm uneasy at the thought of something alive slinking around my ankles, and my tail practically draws between my thighs. Exactly how big? She gestures with her hands, indicating arm length. I scoff at that. You jest. There is no fish here that big. There is. I saw one at dawn once. Can't catch him, though. He's too tricky for me. She pulls up her net and folds it into a tiny pouch once more. I'd say I'd show you, but I can't catch him. He's too smart. A smart male would let himself be caught by you. Her eyes widen, and then she grins at me. Flirt? I am flirting, and I shouldn't be. Didn't we watch vid after vid of how to approach the humans here? How to give them careful space? If I ruin this job for my work cohort, I'm going to get booted off the team, and so will my brother Drew, and he'll be furious. So even though I want to respond to the bright-eyed gaze she's giving me, I know I cannot. Reluctant, I nod at her again. Something brushes against my tail in the water. With a hiss, I bolt for the shore. It's just a fish, Chelsea calls, her laughter ringing around us. Fish or not, I don't want anything nipping at my sack. I'm still thinking about Chelsea and her magnificent teats and her easy laughter hours later. I'm distracted through the workday, and then at the cantina when we stop for a quick drink. As contractors, we're allowed to go inside for no longer than 5 minutes, acquire food and beverage, and then we have to return to the barracks set aside for us. Drew has been bribing one of the bartenders to give him extra drinks, but tonight, perhaps, he senses my mood and skips the Uli brew. You still thinking about that human? He asks as we head back to the barracks. 2 human women, both slight of build and with wary faces, cross the street to get away from us. I nudge my brother, and we move to the side of the pavement, giving them ample room to pass and avoiding eye contact. There's a custodian posted in the street, watching our interaction, and I give him a friendly nod because we don't mean trouble. We need this job to go well, because it will mean more contracts in the future, and Lord Varin pays exceedingly well. No one wants to lose this job. I grunt a response to my brother, since he's expecting one. Maybe you'll see her around here? He gestures at the small street, taking another bite of a fried veg pocket held in his other hand. Haven't seen her before, I comment. Don't think she comes in much. She might. Sverk said he met a human with big teats. My brother cups one hand in front of his chest, oblivious to the custodian that gives us a hard look as we pass by. Said she had a really soft mane and a charming laugh. He wants to claim her. You think she's the same female? Every hair on my tail stands up, and the skin prickles along my spine. Sverk is our foreman, and tends to have more credits and pull. If a human female wants a male with power, he's a better catch for her than a lowly contractor. Still, the thought of Sverk moving in on Chelsea makes me want to claw something. Did he say what she looked like? Just that he liked her teats, and yellow mane, maybe? I can't recall. Chelsea's was a pale brown, but in the right lighting it could look reddish. Maybe that's why she was friendly. She already has a Praxian for herself. But she didn't strike me as the type to flirt with multiple males. She seemed just as surprised to see me as I was to see her. Friendly and open, but not cautious. Interested, I even flirted with her, and she didn't shoo me away. My brother mulls, eating. Was her door marked? I didn't see her homestead, I admit. You should check. If it's not marked, you should do so. Stake your claim on her. If it's the same ample female, Sverk will back off. Honor demands it. Marking her door. It's an age-old tradition amongst Praxi males. You mark the female's home with your mating scent, letting all the other males in the area know that you've claimed this one for yourself. I doubt her door is marked at all. I doubt she's the same female Sverk saw. But now that Drew has mentioned marking her door, I can't think about anything else. Maybe, is all I say, even as I make plans to sneak out before my shift. If her door hasn't been marked, what will it harm to go and stake my claim upon her? It's insurance. It's letting her know I'm interested. And if it goes nowhere, then it goes nowhere, right?
3. Chelsea. I wake up early the next morning, glancing out the door at the sunny weather. It's a gorgeous day, and I'm a little hopeful that my cat friend will be back at the stream, ready to flirt with me. I thought about him all day. Silly, really. I'm not here on this planet for romance, but it was nice to flirt and be flirted with. That he's a Praxian doesn't bother me. I'm a firm believer in the person is different from the people. If I thought every alien was awful because of what a few of them did to me in the past, I'd be a miserable person indeed. As it is, I prefer to look at things on the sunny side of life. And the sunny side tells me that I should fix my hair and wear a cute tunic just in case Hrrrusek shows up again. I practice his name, purring the rr sound like he did, and play our conversation through my head again. Not a fisherman, that one. My guess is that he grew up in a city, or on a station, and has never gone fishing. I wonder what he thinks of this planet. I wonder what he thinks of, well, everything. I wonder what he thinks of me. Men are few and far between on this planet. Again, totally cool with that. I'm happy just to have my farm and a means to make a living. But the flirting unlocked a bit of yearning inside me, reminding me that I'm a woman in the prime of my life, and I still have needs. I thought I was fulfilling those needs with a handheld bot specifically for such needs. But maybe that's not enough after all. I fluff my long hair and put on a tunic with a low neckline, since he seemed to like my cleavage. Flirting never hurt anyone, right? It doesn't have to go anywhere. It certainly doesn't have to go anywhere with a Praxian who probably doesn't like farming. Or humans. But if he shows up at the fishing hole again, fantastic. I'll be ready. If not, well, then I move on. And I try to catch the big daddy fish that I know is in the belly of the stream. I head for the bedroom to pull on shoes when my perimeter alerts ping. Curious, I tap on a control panel in the wall and review the security feed. There's a big furry pair of orange and cream shoulders on my porch, his head bent, and my heart skips a beat. How did he know where I lived? That's impressive. Racing over to my bathroom mirror, I check my hair and cleavage again while I wait for him to knock. When the knock doesn't come, I head back into the living room and pause by the door. The shadow he's casting tells me that he's still out there. But is he trying to get up his courage to knock? Is he shy? I think of the way his whiskers twitched when a fish touched his foot, and how he'd raced out of the stream. It was adorable, and I still chuckle at the memory. Maybe if he's shy, I need to remind him that I'm not. I open the door to greet him. As I pull the door open, something hot and wet sprays across my front, splattering on my tits. Hrrrusek stares at me in shock.
4. Hrrrusek. Well, this is a keffing nightmare. The pretty human has caught me, hand on cock, as I spray my load over her door to mark my territory. Worse than that, she's standing in the line of fire, and my seed sprays all over her skin and the front of her tunic. A drop even lands on her chin. Her mouth falls open and her gaze drops to my cock, the head flushed and dripping with my release, my hand gripping tight just behind the crown. I stammer, not sure what to say to make things better. "What are you doing?" Chelsea breathes, gazing at me with big eyes. Her hand moves to her teats, and she touches a wet rope of my release that glazes her skin, and I groan, squeezing my cock harder at the sight because I can't seem to stop myself. "I'm marking your door." I manage to grit the words out, even as I give my cock one last squeeze to get the last of my seed out. She just watches me with a fascinated expression, her fingers rubbing against the seed I left on her teats. I move to stare at the bead on her chin, because it's the most lewd and fascinating thing I've ever seen. "You weren't supposed to open it," To my surprise, she laughs. No one told me. She's laughing? Smiling. A stranger just jerked off on her door, and she's wearing my release all over her pretty teats, and she's laughing? Either she's incredibly bold or absolutely reckless, but I'm relieved she isn't pulling a blaster on me. If I tell you, you might not give me a chance to court you. Chelsea's gaze meets mine, and I realize she's been watching me work my cock just as much as I've been staring at her. Did you want to come in? To do what? I blurt out. Does she not know how Praxian courting rituals work? I'm finished here. She chuckles and gestures at the kitchen. Well, I'm going to clean off, unless that's not allowed. No, it's allowed. I wasn't supposed to hit you, just your door. Ah. She bites her lip and studies me, her gaze dipping down to my cock, still half hard. You might want to wash your hands. I might. You sure you want me to come in? Are you going to mark my furniture? Kef, no. Then yes, you can come in. Her mouth twitches again, and she opens the door wider, stepping back. I follow her inside, one hand on the waist of my trow, the other sticky with my release. This is not how I planned on things going. I thought I'd mark her door, head off to work, and then maybe see if I could catch her in town. Failing that, I thought I might send her a comm, something low-key and effortless. But now she's wearing my seed. I'm invested. Chelsea is mine now. She just needs to realize it. I've decided it in this moment because I'd give anything to cover her teats in my spray again. I hike my trow up and awkwardly fasten them shut, my other fist still covered with my release. Following her into the tiny kitchen, I can't help but notice that her home reminds me of her. It's full of bright colors and sunshine, and it's cluttered as if she's too busy or distracted to put things away. I like it. A female that doesn't mind a bit of a mess is my kind of female. She turns on the water at the sink and uses a towel to dab at her skin, cleaning off my leavings, and I want to stand there and watch as she does. Half me, has any female ever had such a magnificent chest? Her teats are splendid, the hang of them heavy with weight and showing an ample cleft. I imagine one in my hand, spilling over my large fingers with the size of it, and decide that I'm going to jerk off to that image tonight. Her backside and thighs look to be as ample as the rest of her, and I love that she's big. It means she enjoys life and food as much as she enjoys everything else. I love food myself, and I think of my soft gut. I work hard and try as I might. There's a layer of fat over my stomach, no matter what I do. It's because I eat too much, I suspect. Hrrrusek is lean, but not me. Maybe I don't meet her approval? The thought is a devastating one. She could have any male she wanted, and here I am spraying my seed like I'm doing her a favor. You okay? You're frowning. This was perhaps not the best way to introduce myself. Her smile grows broader. But we already met. If you think about it, it's more of a second date. I grunt at that, glancing around. I am inside her house now, and I smell no other males, or any other people at all, for that matter, in the area. This pleases me, but it also makes me vaguely sad for her. Does she live a lonely existence? Someone as vibrant as her should have all the attention she craves, be it male or female. She offers me a towel, and I wipe my hands clean, wondering if I should shove the cloth down my trow and clean my cock. Probably wouldn't endear me to her. You should not have invited a strange male inside your home. Well, you're the strange male that came inside a strange female's house, so what does that make you? Chelsea puts her hands on her hips, gazing defiantly up at me. Lucky. That makes a smile blossom across her face once more. Aren't you sweet? I can't let this go, though. I might be sweet, but another would not be. You must be more cautious. Because you could have killed me? Precisely. She waves a hand, dismissing that. You want breakfast? Or were you going to invite me out to the stream? I was going to head out there looking for you, but you've saved me a trip. She pauses. Does this mean we're dating now? I stare at her, puzzled at how quickly she has accepted all of this. Maybe something is wrong with her that she has no sense of self-preservation. Shouldn't she be slightly
Sample complete. Ready to continue?